Alright, well, let's just get this thing started then. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're going to be hitting the rank ladder with some Sultai control. We'll just get right into it. Alright, so this list for Sultai control that I have been toying with a few things in the meta right now. So first off, we're going to run one copy of Jwari Disruption, so we're going to counter a spell unless the controller plays one, or we can play it for a land. So this is either just going to ramp us in tapped, or we're going to be able to counter something pretty early on in the game. We're running a new removal spell from Midnight Hunt. Infernal Grasp, 2 mana for an instance. We're going to destroy a creature like those pesky creature lands. And then we do end up losing 2 life. We're going to run 4 Prosperous Innkeepers to help gain us life later on in the game once we start having creatures enter. It's going to create us a treasure so we can hit our double mana things like our Alrund's Epiphany, our 3 mana, our 3 green Storm the Festival, and our 2 black Meathook Massacre. Next is the Tangled Florahedron, so it's either going to be a creature if we need a creature early game that's going to be a mana dork and tap for mana, or it's going to enter tapped as land. Then we have a new card from Midnight Hunt, the Root Coil Creeper. This is actually one of the main combos in the deck. So the Creeper is a 2/2, 4/2 mana. It's a Simic, so it's green and a blue. It's going to tap to add a mana, so it's a mana dork. Then it also adds 2 mana of any one color if we cast the spell from our graveyard. So when we hit Storm the Festival from our graveyard, the Creeper will tap for 2 mana to help get us that 7 that we need, or that 10 that we need, 7 generic 3 green. Next we have 2 Meathook Massacres. I tried putting 3 to 4 in the deck, and the amount of times that you need a Meathook Massacre, especially with it being legendary, is not exactly... You don't need 4 copies. You end up just getting piled in your hand, and then you need to find a way to ditch them because you don't really want to just cast them over and over again. So 2 is in the deck for a board wipe of creatures, and then those 2 sweet abilities of whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you gain 1 life. Next, we're only running one copy of Grafted Identity. So usually you want to run probably 2 of these. In your deck it's 4 mana, and as an additional cost you need to sacrifice a creature, but you enchant creature and then you control enchanted creature. So just a new rare that came with Midnight Hunt. Gives us a little bit more flexibility and control over our opponents if we need it. Obviously we're going to run 4 Esika's Chariot because they're busted, 4 mana for the 4/4 to create tokens. This card combos really well with Wrenn and Seven when you create the Tree Folk and then you have an Esika's Chariot out and then you copy the Tree Folk. Obviously you're going to get 2 of those, which just get bigger with your lands. Next we're running 3 Binding the Old Gods, so just destroy target non-land permanent. You search for a forest. The last ability, creatures getting death touch, is not something we're super concerned with. But Binding is great removal and ramp in this deck, and we're going to try running 1 Culling Ritual. This was in a few of the Simic decks that were being played in a couple tournaments. So just running 1, it's 4 mana. It can ramp us, destroy each non-land permanent, value 2 or less. Then you get to add a combo of blue or black or green to your mana pool. This hurts us a little bit as it's going to hit our tokens that we make with Esika's Chariot. It's going to hit our tokens with Wrenn and Seven. It will hit our birds with the Epiphany. It takes away our Root Coil Creeper. It hits the Florahedron, the Prosperous Innkeeper, and our Meathook Massacre. Is X is 0, so the converted mana cost of this card is 2. So it destroys all of those, but when we need, in a pinch, when we are against mono white or something like that, and we need to just clear the board, Culling Ritual does hurt us, but at least it will keep us in the game, and hopefully it will ramp us enough if there are enough things out to recast a Wrenn and Seven or to cast a Storm the Festival from our graveyard. So next is Wrenn and Seven in our 5 mana spot. We're running 4 of those, obviously, so Wrenn and Esika's Chariot are pretty broken in the format right now. +1 is going to get us more cards, more lands if we need them for the festival or the Epiphany. 0, if we just are flooded with lands in our hand, we just get to dump them all and have a really big turn the next turn. -3, what you're almost always going to do when Wrenn comes down, you're going to create that Tree Folk, and the -8, which you will never really get to, but you're going to return all the permanents from your graveyard to your hand. You get an emblem. You don't have a maximum hand size, but we're not really worried about that. We want to create Tree Folks and smash for lethal. Next is Storm the Festival. We're going to look at the top 5 of our library and put 2 permanents with mana value 5 or less onto the battlefield, the rest at the bottom. Flashback, so we're going to cast it, flash it back, and then hopefully Root Coil Creeper will get it back from exile and return it to our hand, and we can cast it again and cast it from our graveyard again. Then Alrund's Epiphany, pretty self-explanatory. It's run in almost all of the decks in the Worlds Tournament that had blue. We're just going to take extra turns and create blockers. It's really self-explanatory. We're running 24 lands. I won't really give you a breakdown of the lands, but we're running 2 Hall of the Storm Giants and 1 Lair of the Hydra as our creature lands if we need them, as this deck's going to produce a lot of mana, so hopefully we can just smash in with those. So Jake Fort wants to know how long the stream is tonight. Well, we're just going to probably, like we did last time, we're going to try and get through at least 5 games and see if we can have a better win record than we did the last time. So last time, for those of you who remember, we went 0-5 with our Azorius control. So we're going to try running some Sultai ramp control and see if we can get some more wins on the ranked ladder. So let's just get into the ranked games. And you guys will have to tell me if it works. I installed something on the stream with untap.gg. You should be able to hover over cards and actually see the card breakdowns as you hover over them in the chat, is what it said that it does. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that works for you guys. But anyway, we're going to start here. So we have a Tangled Florahedron as a land, or a Woodland Chasm. So we have 3 lands, a Prosperous Innkeeper, ramp if we get the 4th land, and an Esika's Chariot also at 4. So I think we're going to keep this, and we'll put this over in the land spot. To start off, we'll do a duel to get blue, or to get black or green as of right now. And you guys, let me know, is my mic volume pretty good? It looks good on stream over here. I just want to make sure I'm loud enough for you guys. So let me know if I'm pretty quiet. I can turn myself up. Lyonic says that he traded his Scarab God for a Meathook Massacre last weekend. Scarab God, I know that was sitting at a really hefty price for a while. Alright, that's 2 mana. We can either try and ramp. He's running red. I would assume if we play Florahedron, we're going to get... that would probably end up dying, so I think we save that. If we don't get a land drop next turn, we'll drop for land, and we'll go Prosperous Innkeeper to make a treasure. Because if they play something, we want to be able to hit Binding on it and ramp even further. Alright, so he's playing Gruul, has the Magda, so we don't get the land, so we're going to go ahead and play that as the land. Next turn, we will do Binding, so we're just going to pass. We can block and kill the Magda right now. Alright, so he goes another land. Alright, so he's going to attack. Do we want to lose our Innkeeper and destroy his Magda? I think, as of right now, we'll lose the Innkeeper, and then we can Binding whatever he plays next. So, alright, so he's going to Dragon's Fire anyway. That's okay. Alright, now the question is, do we want to take out his mana, or do we want to take out the Ranger class? Oh, wait, if we do Culling Ritual here, we destroy the Magda, we destroy the Wolf, and the Ranger class, and we will go up 3 mana, and we can't really cast anything in our hand with that. Or we could cast Meathook Massacre and just get it down, so I think we're actually going to do that, because that just hits everything. So we'll go black, green, that's fine. And we're just going to get the Massacre down. Just to get it down to hopefully help us when we kill other things. So we need that 4th land, and we're sitting really, really nicely. Alright, we don't get the land. That puts us in a really bad spot. And again, we get a second Meathook Massacre, something that we don't need, so we have to pass the turn. Hope we get that land. Goldspan Dragon. So this is like a common thing that you're gonna find in the format right now, is decks that just, they're gonna run Chariot, they're gonna run Goldspan Dragon, and then they're gonna top end. Alright. That sucks. I think we're dead. Are we dead next turn? 1, 2, 6, 10. No. 2, 4, 6, 10. I don't think we're dead next turn, but I don't know how we survive. Unless, I don't know if there's anything that's just going to deal face. Alright, yep. We cannot survive. That was a horrible showing for game 1. We just needed the 4th land that we never ended up getting. Alright, not too good for game 1. Let's try it again. So I was playing this deck as I was testing it out. This deck got me from gold 4 to gold 1, so I really hope that I don't have the streamer's curse as I did last stream and lose every game. So hopefully I can show you guys that I am a competent Magic player sometimes. So, alright, our next game. So right away, we do have green, we have black, double blue. We have a counter spell, we have a mana dork here in our root coil, so let's go ahead and keep. So we'll play the Woodland Chasm followed by Hall to get our green blue, okay. And we'll get down the coil. So then next turn we play a basic and we'll get down the Chariot. Alright, is it turns the deck that just won Worlds? Yeah, I think Chariot just puts appropriate pressure on this deck if we can keep it up. So let's go Swamp, and then we'll just do Chariot. We'll say go. Alright, so he plays 2 Smoldering Eggs, no land. Alright, so he waited for his land drop. He plays Hall. So I think I'm still sitting in a good spot. Now I can hold up the Jawari Disruption, so I'm just going to play a Lair of the Hydra entering tapped, and we'll go ahead. It doesn't really matter. So he is not even blocking my 2/2 cap. So let's see what he does on turn. What is it do on turn 4? And this is the bad part with a disruption in hand. Later in the game, the disruption just becomes useless because they pay 1. All right, so he's gonna make the treasure with the Opus. So he's got 5 mana for his next turn. But if he casts something for 2 mana, I can try and force him to pay that treasure. Because I'm just going to keep putting pressure with the Chariot. Alright, another creeper. Let's go ahead and get the island down. Now I could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I believe I'm back. I apologize for anyone still there. My internet went down. But I believe I'm still live. Just checking right now. Jake Fort says, welcome back. Alright, so clearly I'm still live, I believe. Alright, let's see if I was still in that game. If it's just going to load me back into that game, or if we ended up losing a ranked match. Alright, so apparently we lost it. We lost the one match that we were actually doing good in. So, alright, let's try and restart. So we have 4 mana, we have Chariot. That just seems good enough to me. So we get the Hedron, so we'll play that on turn 2 as we don't have any other turn 2s. So let's go green. We have a blue here. Do double black. Just get the Hedron down. So we're playing against Selesnya. Probably going to be life gain as the Hollowed Priest. Alright, we get Spellbindered, so he's gonna probably take a Chariot. But I like the idea, since we have the 5 mana, he might have another Spellbinder. What I like the idea of more... Oh, he takes a Massacre, so no blocks. We'll take the 1. We'll play a blue. We'll get out the Esika's Chariot. Make our tokens. We'll see what he plays here, and then... Alright, so he took our Meat Hook Massacre, so we're not going to be doing that for a while, but it's still on the table. Alright, so no Spellbinder, but he attacked with his. Alright, a teleportation circle, so he's gonna spellbind me again and hit my Chariot, as that's the only thing that he can do. That's fine. He's gonna get to see my Hall of Storm Giants. My turn. Oh, we get another land. I guess that's not awful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could Meat Hook for 1. If we do 5 here. So here. Or is the better play... Yes. Or no, they won't die, but they won't have enough to crew the Chariot. So we do this. Go here. X is 1. There we go. And then we gain life, he loses life, we get to attack him with a Chariot. There we go. Alright, I like that play so much more. And he concedes. Okay, so that makes up for our failed internet game. So we're gonna try and make it out of gold 1. Ghoulish Procession. I'm just checking. I'm gonna check and make sure that everything is still good on my stream, as I just trying to make sure that... Alright, so it did end up posting twice, but that's alright. I hope that's okay. Again, I beg your apologies from anyone who was watching, who is back now. Let's hope that that doesn't happen again tonight. So, what we're looking at here. So this is odd. I'm not sure if I like this as much. So we have a green, we have a blue, we can go Root Coil. But I don't know if it's enough to carry us through, as we can foretell the Epiphanies, but I don't know if we get to Storm the Festival. If we draw anything, but it's too risky. I think I have to mulligan. Good lord. Alright. Basically the same scenario, but now we have a Wrenn and Seven, so we draw more lands. I don't want to go to 5, so we're just going to try and keep this. So we have enough for the Root Coil, at least. We have enough to foretell, so we're going to get down if we don't get anything else. So we do. Alright, and we're just going to tap this, because it's going to keep asking us to, if we want to make it a creature, and we don't. So we're probably playing against, okay, Dungeons. I kind of thought we were going to play against Clerics. So we have a black here, but we want to get Creeper down. So we're going to do that. So we have 5 mana. So we have at least 5 for the Wrenn. So if we don't get anything next turn, we'll foretell and go into Wrenn and 7. So he's got... Alright, we're playing against Orzhov Dungeons, and I'm not sure if this is going to be strong enough. No blocks. Alright, we get another Creeper. So we're just going to play on black, I think. Well, we can actually do both, because we're not going to be blocking that Triumphant Adventure anytime soon, so let's just foretell and pass. So next turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll have 6. We could Storm the Festival next turn. So he's running the Snow land, so I'm assuming that this is going to be Blood on the Snow. But he's running the Snarls. That's why I thought it was Orzhov Clerics for a little bit. So no blocks. We don't want to block the... We don't want to lose our Creeper. We don't want to... We can't kill anything. This gets first strike. Okay. Now it would look really good if we had a Meat Hook Massacre. So if we don't play a land here, if we play the tap land, we can... So we can make blockers with Alrund's Epiphany. But if we go... Oh man, this is tough. So do we want to go Storm the Festival if we play an untapped land? And we could go Alrund's Epiphany if we play an untapped land. Or we can play our tapped land, play Wrenn and Seven, make our Tree Folk. I kind of like that idea better. Then we can Storm an Alrund's next turn. So let's go here. We'll make the Tree Folk and hope it lives. And then we can have basically 2 turns with the large Tree Folk with our Alrund's Epiphany. Okay, Infernal Grasp. Okay, I don't love it, but Wrenn is gonna die most likely, so we're really looking for a Meat Hook Massacre right here. So I think we go, depending on what we get, we have to go Forest, Alrund's Epiphany, try and get another thing. If we don't, we'll go Storm the Festival. So he's gonna venture into some dungeons. I'm not quite sure about the dungeon mechanic. Whenever I tried playing with it when the Adventures in the Forgotten Realms set came out, I really wasn't, not that I wasn't impressed, but it just really felt lacking to me. It just wasn't, there just wasn't enough weight behind it to carry through in certain games. So I mean, I might lose to it right now, but in the meta with what was going on at the time, dungeons was easily foiled with a board wipe, and then you would just be stuck recovering. Okay, so we get an Innkeeper. So we play that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will give us the 6th, and then we'll get health. We'll get some life back from the birds. So we'll just do that. Let's see if we can get our Meat Hook Massacre. So we gain 2. We do not. So we'll play a land. We have to play this. Ouch. Are we dead next turn? I'm not sure. Do we die next turn? So well wait, we can block in the air, we can block something here, we can block with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have enough for Storm the Festival. We can try and hit it again, but if we get a Meat Hook Massacre, the X is going to be 0. I'm not sure what saves us here. We need to draw the Meat Hook Massacre. So he can get those. Yeah, and this was always the annoying thing about playing dungeons and playing against dungeons, is that you have to sit there and pick out what you're wanting to do in each dungeon, and it makes games unbearably long. As you can see here, we're just trying to get through his combat phase, and he's doing all of this. So he gets more things he can play as he completes the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Passive blockers, we'll block in the air. We'll block a first striking Death Touch right here. And then do we die? We take 5. This could gain us life depending on what he plays. I mean, we could even just block here, take 4 instead of 5. Kind of want to keep these around for the mana, so we'll go ahead and do that. Dungeon map. Yeah, so he's just going to be going all into the dungeon mechanic. But I'm not sure. Alright, Meat Hook. Nope, not Meat Hook Massacre. Okay, I don't know if we survive here. We get the Wrenn, we get a Hall, but we could get another blocker here. I mean, I like the Hall because it's big body, but do we even survive next turn? Each player loses life unless they discard a card, so if I take think I need to just make the blocker here. We'll gain a life. Okay, there we go. We gain 2 life, so we're gonna gain the 2 life that we lose. We can't do that yet. Okay, let's see what happens. We have an 8/8 with reach, which can block his Cloister Gargoyle. I'm nervous because I tend to just outright lose in these situations. Yeah, okay, figures. Figures that he had something in the back pocket that's just gonna deal with my threat. Okay. I think we can live. We need to just block everything though. So he gets 3 triggers, so he can deal 4 damage to me, unless I sacrifice something. I will sacrifice the tapped recoil as it can't block for me. He creates 5/5. So I need to block everything and go to 2. Unless he's got something in his hand that can make me lose 2 life right now. Ventures into the dungeon again. I didn't know that dungeon decks were still in the meta. I have not played against a dungeon deck in a very long time. Nope. We don't get it. Oh. It wouldn't have saved us, but that culling ritual could have done at least something. Yeah, we don't have it. Ugh. Tough loss, tough loss. Alright, let's just get right into another one, and let's try and get a win. Our one win on stream tonight has been a concede. It has not been an actual victory, so let's try and change that right now. Hopefully we don't have to mulligan again. So that was our problem last stream, was the amount of mulliganing that we were doing. So we start with a meat hook, we get the grafted, we don't have 2 blue, but we'll have the prosperous innkeeper to make a treasure token. So I like the idea of that. We'll put our control over here. So he's playing just a regular mountain, so it might be goblins. Yeah, this is where this deck is going to struggle if he's going to play. Alright, he's playing Is It. I should have figured the deck that just won Worlds was Is It turns, so figuring to play against a lot of that on stream. Smoldering Egg. Get the. So that can be used as a land. I think we still go ahead and do our Innkeeper. If we don't get anything next turn, we can play the Florahedron. So this is where the grafted identity should come in handy if we can get that other blue source. The identity, if he transforms his Smoldering Egg, we will just take it. So the Smoldering Egg, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, put a number of Ember counters on Smoldering Egg equal to the amount of mana spent to cast that spell. Then if Smoldering Egg has 7 or more Ember counters, you remove them, transform it into the Ashmouth Dragon. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, deal 2 damage to any target. So it's an 0/4 defender that becomes a 4/4 that's just going to wreck face in this deck. So go ahead and go here. He might have a removal for either one of these, but at this point, so we don't want to waste our treasure right now. Let's hope we can get something, another blue source, and we would have the 6 lands. So he's gonna Galvanic Iteration, copy Spikepeel Hazard. Okay, so he's gonna clear my board right now. No blue, okay. 1, 2, 3. So we're just gonna double, get those out of our hand. Alright, where's our blue mana? We need blue right now. Come on, we need an island. 1 island, we have the token. we'll have what we need. Alright, so he's going to transform his dragon. So if we get an island, we can take that dragon. Gosh darn it, we are just not having any luck. So if he has another Prismari command, he could just destroy my Chariot. Yep, so he's going to deal 2 damage to one of my cats. Plays at Mountain, so he's got the 3 mana. Can't block him there. Go to 11. Oh, this is painful. This is painful. So we're gonna just use Wrenn. Probably should make... We could make a 4/4 Tree Folk, but I almost want to use her plus... If she resolves. I should have figured. Yep. Alright, let's see what happens on his next turn. I shouldn't be expecting anything less from the deck that just won the World's Tournament. This is just a literal copy and paste of that deck, so I'm basically playing against the best deck in the format right now, so... Alright, anytime now, Mr. Is It Mage, you don't have much to think about here. He can flash back his Galvanic Iteration. I'm not sure if what he could do with it, but he's got that option. The Ashmoth Dragon's just a 4/4, so I'm gonna assume that that's a counter spell. Whatever spell we cast next probably is gonna get countered. We don't have a creature. Alright. Oh my gosh. We just have no luck on stream. We get our 3rd Alrund's Epiphany and no land. Ouch. Alright, well, you just got a sneak peek of, like I said, the deck that just won the World's Tournament. So there's a reason that deck won. Is it turns and you just use your Ashmoth Dragons to deal damage to face or to control the board. So let's try and forget that loss and let's try and get into another one. So as I said before, this deck brought me from gold 4 to gold 1. And now that I am on stream, I am just getting absolutely land screwed. I can't trust this hand. We have 2 Halls and a Florahedron. They all would enter tapped at some point. We have to mulligan. Alright, we're going to ditch the Meat Hook, keep our top end, keep both of our top ends. We have green, we have black, we have blue. Alright. Our opponent is playing an island. 2 islands, he says go. So we want to play... Get our coil. Now I'm not sure what mono blue is in the format. I haven't played against the mono blue deck yet. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is another deck from the World's Tournament. Blue-white tempo, but he plays a 3rd island, so okay, I'm starting to believe that this is just mono blue. Probably gonna, yeah, Fading Hope, another really good card in the format. So you return a creature of its mana value is 3 or less, you scry one. That uncommon, it's really, really nice to have in your hand. So we have all of our 3 colors out. We have enough to play the Root Coil. I don't want to get screwed on the double blue again, but I also want to have enough to play the 3/3 for Storm, but with our mana dorks, we should have enough. So let's go blue and get the Root Coil Creeper out. So when I pass priority, he's got something that's sticking in his hand, so alright, it's more cantrips. so now we just need to try and make it through. I'm not sure what this is going to be. This mono blue control. I'm assuming the turn gets passed right here. And he's going to return that. Alright, so we see a second Fading Hope. So we've seen card draw, return, card draw, just casted another Consider, and a Fading Hope. So I'm not sure what he's setting up for, but he's digging. He's digging right now. In the Demolish. Okay, so it's a 4-3. Get another green out, and we might be able. Yeah, let's just roll both of these out. He's tapped out right now. So hopefully we can have a big turn 5. I'm just not sure with those Fading Hopes. Those are always used to return the Tree Folk that Wrenn makes. Lets your opponent scry one. It seems really bad for me right now. But I'm not sure what else my Storm the Festival is going to get besides a Wrenn or an Esika's Chariot. And I really don't want either of these to be countered. So he's holding 3 mana. Alright, so he's going to cast the copy. I almost want to just kill the Demolish right now. And... okay, so he's going to make it so I can't kill it. That's okay for now. Hopefully, well, if we hit Storm the Festival, hopefully we can hit a Binding, kill the Demolish. He's got the 2 mana. So we'll go ahead and get our black. But if the Storm gets countered, if he has a Disdainful Stroke or a Negate, I feel really stupid right now. So I think we could just go out on our mana rocks, or our mana producers here. But when that Demolish attacks again, he's going to get one of these. Is it just... exile. Whenever Demolish attacks, exile 1 target instant or sorcery from your graveyard. Copy it. So this Tempted by the Auric. I'm assuming that that could be casted next. Now that's stuck. Let's just get the Root Coil down. Because I want to try and kill this Demolish. I think if we can do that, we can start controlling this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just... well, I don't know if we want to tap... let's go ahead and do this. Let's just get as many creatures out as we can to try and block that Demolish. So that's what we're going to try and do. And we'll go no attackers because we want to keep everything up. So he has 6 lands. He's just going to go right to combat. So I'm assuming that we're going to get Tempted by the Auric or another Fading Hope. But if he goes Tempted by the Auric, he's going to cast it at sorcery speed. So we can block. So he's going to look at the top 3. He's going to keep 4 mana open, which is definitely counterspell magic. He mills a land. He mills another cantrip. So I think we should... so he's got the 4 mana. He could return some creatures to our hand, and we have 5 mana for Wrenn. He can't kill all of these. So let's just see what he does with this, because I really want to try and get this Demolish off the battlefield. Okay. But if he casts it again, I'm somewhat okay with that, because... alright, so he's got 1 mana open, so we can get a Storm or a... now it's just what is the play, because if we cast Wrenn, he attacks with the Demolish, he's going to return this Fading Hope to get rid of my Tree Folk, or I can go Wrenn and just try and plus. But I think while we have the option, we should Storm. So we get a Chariot. Alright, Grafted Identity. We'll take the Demolish and we'll sacrifice... oh, so we didn't cast the spell, we just played it for free with Storm, so we don't have to sacrifice anything. Let's see if he wants to trade that Delver of Secrets. Nope. Alright, so he's going to reveal the top. And it does transform. Okay. He gets another land. So I'm assuming he could return the Demolich to his hand. Ooh, but if I attack with Demolich and I get to cast Storm the Festival from my graveyard, that seems pretty nice. Alright, he's gonna get another turn. Let's hope he doesn't just get us in the Alrund's loop right now and just take like 4 extra turns right now. Goes land to go to 8. He's gonna look at the top 3. Alright, so he's digging for an answer right now, and I'm not sure if he has it. So I probably want to hold Demolich back because I really don't want him to block and kill it. Alright, he Fading Hopes his own Demolich. I'll tap it. We'll make it crew the Chariot just because. Just for laughs. So he can cast. Alright, so he casts it again. We're in a much better place with the Chariot. We get another Wrenn. So let's try and cast it, see what this last card is. I really want to deal with that Demolich. So if he attacks with it, he can Fading Hope our token. But he only gets 1. So if we make the token, then let's go ahead and do like this. Let's crew the Chariot. It's a really bad trade for him if he trades with the Demolich. So we'll do that, and we'll make another tree for him. Okay. Let's see what happens. So if he attacks with Demolich, uses a Fading Hope, if he doesn't have another one. So right now he can't return both to my hand. I think he's just trying to dig for something like that. So he has 29 spells. He's really digging deep, but he's got a lot of mana to just start bringing stuff back. Alright, so he's going to go all in on Wrenn, but I don't know if he knows that I have another one in my hand, and that's going to be perfect. So he knows that I would probably block. So he can cast the Demolich from his graveyard. Well, let's see what he does. Let's see which card he brings back. I'm assuming it's going to be a Fading Hope. Anytime. And how much mana do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we don't have enough. Okay, so tempted by the Auric. So he can take one of my tree folk. That's okay for now. So we'll just make him either exile. Alright, so now we need to find a way to get rid of his tree folk. He has another Tempted by the Orc in his graveyard. Yes, he does. So we really don't want to lose both. Okay, he plays Demolich again by exiling. Did he? Nope, he did not exile the other one. Okay, we get an Alrund's Epiphany. That is interesting. Let's go ahead and plus Wrenn. Okay, we get a storm, play the land. Let's go here. So my tree folk is not big enough to get his tree folk. We could make a second one with the Chariot, which might be nice. I think that's almost what we want to do. We'll lose the Chariot, but we'll get another tree folk, and then we'll get a third one with this Wrenn, and hopefully we can hit another Chariot with our Storm the Festival. So we'll just do this. Or we'll get a binding, and that's what we really want. So we can't do this yet. We need 10 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9. Let's get another tree folk. Cast this. So we really want to hit that. So I think we plus here. And we get a whole suite of lands. So we have blockers, we have that, we have the tree folk. Let's just pass the turn. Hitting 4 lands off of that one is really nice. Alright, so he's gonna Alrund, but we can kill. So the Demolich, I'm assuming he's gonna take another tree folk. But I have 3 of them, so it's okay. We can kill one, we'll trade. I better hope he doesn't mill himself out here. So he mills away an Alrund's Epiphany. Oh, okay. If he attacks with the Demolich, if the Alrund's Epiphany is in his graveyard, he can just cast it. Oh, gosh, I really want to get this Demolich out of here. So let's just make him do that. Do we want to take one down? I guess there's not a pressing need at the moment, but if he has 2, that just becomes really annoying for me. Better if he just has the 1. So he's gonna take another one from me, I would assume. But we can make more. Let's see what he's got. Alright, so he gets another Demolich. I don't think, yeah, they're not legendary, so if he casts enough spells, he can just cast the Demolich. He can cast 2 Demoliches right now. Alright, he can cast 3 if he casts 2 more spells, and he has enough mana to do this Otherworldly Gaze. Alright, so we get a Fading Hope. Is that his last one? 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Alright, so no more Fading Hope in the library, but he can obviously cast them again with the Demolich. But we're going to try and hit Storm the Festival here. It'd be really nice if we could get an Alrund's Epiphany. Mono Blue Mage needs to think. Alright, so he goes second Demolich. 17 cards in his library, and he hasn't really dealt a lot of damage to me. Okay, so he goes after my Wrenn. So we'll block the Aberration and we'll just trade a bird tokens. Okay. I like that a lot more, so I think we'll go ahead and use a 0 and just ramp out here. Do that. Cast this. Alright, there we go. Finally. Yes. get a victory. He concedes, but I'm still counting it as a victory as this deck finally we did something good. Oh, that felt good. That felt good to get that win. Alright, let's try and get another good one. Can we get another good game? Okay, so we start off, we have 4 mana. I think I want to try it, because if we get one more land, it doesn't matter. We have our 2 greens covered for Wrenn, we have 3 for Storm, so if we just get a couple more lands, I think we're good. The double blue and the Alrunds. Alright, there we go. So we'll enter that tap on turn 1, on turn 2 we'll go Swamp, and then the other Florahedron. So we're playing against mono white, so hopefully we can just survive long enough. If we had a Chariot. Or we haven't seen a lot of binding. We haven't seen a lot of binding the old gods. That would come in handy. Alright, we get the Chariot. That's a nice touch. That was a perfect top deck here. So he is playing black. Now the Thunderous Orator isn't going to do very well unless it's got something to go with. So he's going to Bloodchief's Thirst that. Let's just, before one of those dies, we'll crew the Chariot. So if he attacks, we can just block. Plays a second Thunderous Orator. And we get another Wrenn. So let's just go here. Yep, we'll do that. I like that a lot. Let's force him to make a decision. If he wants to keep any of those, we'll make a token. So he will kill my Chariot, and that's fine. Because I'm up on creatures. I just made the staples, the tree folk, so let's hope that those don't get returned to my hand or killed. So well, he's running that for the dual land. I was gonna say he's not running other snow lands, so I don't have to worry about blood on the snow. Alright. Orzhov Mage has to think. We are thinking. He's thinking, what the frick do I do? How am I gonna concede? So I sack a creature, I'll get rid of the cat. We get another Epiphany. So let's try and get some lands. Alright. We'll play that on blue. And now we can Storm. And I kind of want to just keep Wrenn around to see what we can do. We don't need to play the other one now, so if this one dies, we will. So we could foretell that, but I think Festival here is just better. Okay. Meat Hook or Root Coil to try and get these back. Meat Hook might be better in the long run as it's going to gain life or lose life. Okay, and we get another concede. Alright, guess it didn't matter. Alright, can we make it out of gold tonight? This match will define us right here. Jarred Blade Board. Alright, so we have a bunch of tapped lands. We do have the binding, which I do like. We have a Meat Hook, so if we get another land, we can get binding. Alright. Man, like every starting hand we've had is at an Alrund's Epiphany. We're gonna keep it. We kept last hand. We're gonna keep this one. Alright, so we get the land. So that won't enter tap next turn. So if we have 2, we can foretell. So let's just get a tap land out of the way. So the way that these creature lands work from the D&D set, they enter tapped if you if you control 2 or more lands, they enter tapped. So it's our second land, so we'll just get the Alrund's Epiphany out of our way. See, and this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the stream or the video, if you were there for that. Now we have 2 Meathook Massacres in our hand, and we don't really want or need them. We only really need 1. So that's why there's not 4 Meathook Massacres. We can't really do anything with 3, so let's just play a tap land. Alright, we're playing against another Izzet Mage here. I would assume that we would just a Dragon Egg by now. So he plays a land before his iteration, so that might have not have been the smartest idea for him. So we're kind of free to do what we want on this turn. So ideally we would hit a Binding to destroy something, but we could do a tap layer, get a Meathook on the field. We'll save the second one as the legendary, so we can just sacrifice one if we need it. But we'll just get this out because we get a free spell. Okay, Goldspan. He's gonna have 2 mana. He could counter our Binding, but I don't know if we want to worry about that. I think we just want to get it out because then we have the backup Meathook. So we have 3. We'll play that on blue for the Epiphany, and let's just try and do Binding. It's gonna stick. I really hope that we don't see. All right, it doesn't. It resolves. We'll destroy. All right, now that Meathook's paying off. What do you got? You got another Goldspan in there? Oh no, he's passing. I'm assuming we're gonna be up against some counter spells, so we'll go grab Forest. We have our double blue, so let's just play Swamp. So now we can go Storm, or we can try and bait counter spells with an Alrund's Epiphany. So if the Alrund's Epiphany resolves, we're just in a better spot. If the Storm gets countered, we're in a worse spot, so we're gonna try and bait like this. Okay, so he doesn't counter it, he just returns it to my hand. Let's see what he grabs. So he grabs a Mascot Exhibition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we get another land. One, 2, 3, 4. Yes, and let's do 4. Get those out of here. Let's set up Alrund's Epiphany again. Emery Deluge. He needs to bring 2 things to his hand. So he's kind of bottlenecked on blue. He's got the Ford and a snow-covered island. Alright, there's a Hall. But we are set up right now to take some nasty turns. We have a Hall of our own, so let's go green here. I think since we have the free turn, we should just keep our free turn rolling. We're gonna get in for 1 right here. X is 1. So we'll make our, unless he destroys it with a burn spell, which he very well could. No, Frostbite. That's okay. I don't think we needed them in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we still have enough. Okay. Just go black, it doesn't matter. Green's our main color in the deck anyway. Let's do a Storm. I like those hits. It would have been nice if we would have had 2 more mana. We would have been able to play Wrenn. And let's get in for another damage. So he's at 14. So what's he gonna do with this big turn? Alright, so he's gonna Epiphany himself. So he's gonna start his second turn. Another Memory Deluge, and I don't mind. The Memory Deluge is gonna get him 2 cards, but I don't mind it because he's got to tap 4 mana to do it. So he's got 3 open right now. Okay, so it's my turn. We get another land. Holy cow! All these beautiful, beautiful lands. We'll cast it on green. So I don't know. He does have counter magic open. And if the storm gets countered, it goes to our graveyard. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have the 5th here. So let's bait with Storm the Festival. Let's bait another counter spell. Okay, and we get a Wrenn. We get a Chariot. We'll keep the one without Summoning Sickness. And he returns it to my hand. I don't know if he noticed that I have 5 mana still available. So he gets Introduction to Annihilation. So he's going to either exile a Wrenn or the Chariot. So let's go ahead and do that. Make the 10/10. Crew with 2 cats that we made. Go to combat. Keep the Innkeeper back to gain us life. Make another 10/10. There we go. 10/10 with reach, so those things will stand up to hit all of the Snow Giants. And that was the combo that I was talking about earlier if you were around. So Wrenn comes down, you have an Esika's Chariot that didn't have Summoning Sickness. So these have reach, so if the gold span attacks in, it's dead. And, yeah, there we go. Another concede, alright. We have done it. We have made it out of gold. We are in platinum tier 4. Alright. Let's... This will be the last game of the night, unfortunately. But we made it out of gold. We hit our goal. So let's see. Can we rank up in platinum, or are we going to stay at the bottom of platinum 4? In this video, this stream is already going much better than last week's stream. And again, if you were around for that and you saw a humiliating 0-5 start to the stream, to the channel, thank you for sticking around for this one where we actually win some. We win in a higher tier. We're out of gold 1. We're in platinum. So let's see. We have our 3 colors, and that's really nice. We have the 3 colors. We have a Mana Dork. We have removal. We have our top end. We get another. So let's just go Hall to start. And are we playing against mono white? It looks like it. They didn't have a turn 1. And if they don't have a turn 2, okay, he plays Luminarch, which we can destroy. Let's just get down Creeper. So next turn we'll play Swamp and hit Binding. So he goes for another Aspirant. Let's see if he spreads the counters, or if he's just gonna... Okay, he spreads them out. I was kind of hoping that he would double the counters on one of them, and then I would destroy it. Alright, so we're just gonna go here, destroy the larger one. Yeah, when those Luminarch Aspirants start doubling up, tripling up, if you can get 4 of them out and keep them, they're really good, so... Alright, so he's going to double spell, he gets a spirit, he goes Cod spell, he's going to... Alright, so this is where that culling ritual is really going to come in handy. Like I said at the beginning, mono white, I would just destroy his entire board right now. Okay, we get a Prosperous Innkeeper. We'll go and grab a dual land. We will play a forest. Prosperous Innkeeper followed by a Florahedron. So we're going to be set up for either an Epiphany or the Storm the Festival next turn. And we'll keep up blockers. We're not obviously going to die, but mono white just keeps this constant pressure up. We are just going to get blown out, and it'd be nice to trade with something. So he's going to Redeem. That sets our whole everything back 2 turns. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. So we can still hit Storm the Festival, but we can't lose anything. So let's block with the Innkeeper just to stay alive. So we get double blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can do this. Alright, a binding. Now let's go with another call. So binding comes down. We want to get rid of the... do we get rid of the Aspirant, which is going to grow his board, or do we get rid of the Redain, which keeps us necked on our large spells? Are we dead next turn? 1, 2, 3, 6, 8. We're not dead next turn, but let's just get rid of the Aspirant, and then we'll try and Alrund's Epiphany and get that culling ritual. One, 2, 3, 6, 8. Alright, we're not dead. We're on a clock. We're on a 2-turn clock. This turn he goes all out. Next turn he attacks. Alright. So the shield is the flip side of Redain. So he prevents 1 damage if 1 damage would be dealt to him. Alright, so we get a Chariot. Go here. Let's take an extra turn. Alright. We get an Infernal Grasp, but we lose 2 life to do it. This has flying, this has flying, these have flying. We need to stay alive. Let's get rid of the Redain. And we lose 2 life. Can we cast this right now? But does it save us? So we need to play a blocker if we play Storm the Festival, or if we play Esika's Chariot, we live to see another turn. That's the safest bet. Alright. Okay. If he double portable holes, he can get our blocker out of the way, or flyers, and then kill me with that Spirit. So if we would have played Storm the Festival there, we would have had to have hit another creature or Wrenn to make us a Tree Folk, because our 2 birds would have been the only thing up to block, as we would have had to tap these. Alright, so that's a good sign. He's going to play some smaller creatures. He does make another Spirit, so again, we're still on a clock. We're still on a clock. Let's see what he does for combat. We're gonna just try... Well, I don't even know if we go to combat with the Chariot next turn and try and pressure, because he doesn't even need to block. So now the shield makes my 1/1s basically 0/1s. Let's keep mana up if we get anything. Oh no. Oops, all lands. Wow. Do we just lose? No. I think we live 1 more turn. Right, we block the big one, we take 1, we go to 1. And then we have block here, block here, block here. Okay, we live 1 more turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't have enough to power up the hall. Alright, so if there's no removal spell, if there's no portable hole, we will live to see 1 more turn. Oh, and that's game. We just lost, so he's going to pay 2. He's going to give his whole board a +1/+1 counter, so that Spirit will go unblocked and kill us. So, good game. He can do it. Last game of the night, he can show you how much he's going to kill me. And he knows it. He knows it, too. Do I have anything with reach? Can I give any? If one of these would have just hit a Wrenn, this would be a different story right now. Exact. He had the exact amount of damage. Alright, so we lose our first game in Platinum 4, but that's okay because I'm happy that we just made it there. So let's go ahead and look at the deck. Alright, so that is going to do it for our Sultai control. Things that I like about this deck is that it seems really good in the late game. You can just get into these really, really good areas of either hitting removal with binding or playing your Chariot the one turn. Your next turn you either go Wrenn and Seven or you go Storm the Festival to get a Wrenn and Seven out in the battlefield. You make the Tree Folk, you power up the Chariot, you go to combat, you make another Tree Folk, and there's that, it's this loop of, you know, one thing does one thing and the other thing grabs the other thing and that thing powers up this thing and then that thing makes a token and then that gains you life and then you do another turn, and it's just that loop over and over again that just outvalues your opponent in these colors. So these colors have been historically great for removal, control, and green for aggro, and that's exactly what I've been trying to do in this deck here. So we have our early game ramp, a little bit of control, our board control, and then we have our heavy hitters, our removal, our aggressiveness, and then the grafted identity again was just for it counts as removal and control. I wish I would have had a second grafted identity. I think that would have come a long way in this deck, and I almost want to say that I wish I had a second culling ritual. I'm just not sure, because it's not every time that you go up against mono white, but when you do, like last game that you all saw, it was, if I would have had the culling ritual early on, I think that game would have been a lot different. But mainly you're just trying to get through your early game by ramping up with the Root Coil Creeper, the Tangled Florahedron, Prosperous Innkeeper, and you're trying to hit your Esika's Chariot or Binding or Grafted a turn early, and then you're going to go Wrenn and Seven into, usually you want to go Wrenn and Seven, or usually this deck you're able to just play the land and then get to your 6th land before your 5th, so, or your 6th mana producer being a Dork or a Treasure. And then you can hit your Wrenn and Seven. You're not going to be able to hit your Alrund's Epiphanies or your Culling Ritual, but mostly everything in this deck, well, actually everything in this deck is made to get hit by Storm the Festival, which is 5 mana or less. So as you can see, Wrenn is 5 mana, and then everything else is less than that. So if it's a permanent, Esika's Chariot, the Grafted Identity, Binding, that is all going to get hit by the Storm the Festival, that you're going to be able to hopefully double cast later in the game if you ramp with Wrenn and Seven, and then you can just go Storm the 6 mana, and then if you could exile a Root Coil Creeper, get it back to your hand if you had one previously in the game. But all that just to say that this deck is going to do what Sultai does, which is ramp and control, and then just try and value out the late game with your great things in the format right now, which is currently Esika's Chariot, Wrenn and Seven, Storm the Festival, Alrund's Epiphany. So those cards are probably not new to many of you who know the format. And this deck is just all the best cards, some of the best cards in Standard put into one deck, and then there's just the things around it, like the Binding, the Grafted Identity, the Prosperous Innkeeper, to get you there, and then the good cards at the end of the game just win because they are so good. So anyway, that is my take on Sultai Control. I hope you enjoyed the games tonight. We were actually able to win some, which was very exciting. So tune in next time where I will be playing a different deck. And if you would like to leave a suggestion, you can go follow me on YouTube and leave a comment on this video. Will be posted there shortly. So yeah, leave me a comment, leave me a follow. I enjoyed all of your presence, so thanks for watching. I've been Wrenn on Twitch and YouTube.